Qué rico.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca Nieves Huffman and today we are going to teach you how to make basic, easy sofrito. This is the recipe you're gonna wanna save, bookmark, because as you're cooking Puerto Rican or even Dominican or even Cuban food, you will find 9 times out of 10, they will ask you in the recipe instructions to use sofrito. You can do store-bought, but I highly recommend making it on your own simply because they put a lot of preservatives in the jars of sofrito, which, you know what, that's not good for anybody. Making it at home just gives it a much fresher, full flavor, and you know what you put into it because it's your sofrito. What makes this recipe different as the basic recipe from the full recipe that I provided on my Instagram? By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should probably hit the direct link to that on the landing page of my channel. The difference is this, is that in a traditional sofrito recipe, you will use culantro, another name for it is recao, and ajices dulces. These two items are really hard to find in many grocery stores throughout the country. It's all about geographics. Where do you live? So I have found throughout the years, and especially since, in the last 12 years, I've lived in a neighborhood that doesn't have bodegas and fruterias in abundance like where I used to live and where I grew up. I found myself using these 5 ingredients consistently for my sofrito. It doesn't have the 2 items that are really difficult to find that I just mentioned. And by the way, this is what they look like when you go to the grocery store. Just for your reference, culantro and ajices, just in case you find it one day, get it in abundance to really level up your sofrito. But today is all about the basics. These are the 5 ingredients that you're gonna need to buy in order to make a basic sofrito.
2 green bell peppers, 1 red bell pepper, 1 onion, a bunch of garlic, and 2 bundles of cilantro.
Okay, here we go. What you're gonna need is a blender. Mira, para que tú veas, so you can see. Here's my blender. I use a Ninja. Whatever you have, use. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off by rough chopping all the 5 ingredients with the exception of ajo or garlic. You could just throw that in to the blender. But what you're gonna do is take your ingredients, give them a rough chop. I mean, this is how rough it was, okay, y'all? This is not very hard. And then you're gonna throw your ingredients into the blender. And sofrito is really the consistency of pesto, all right? And we use this on everything, like I said. This is why I said, save this, bookmark it. And did you know Italians use sofrito too? That blew my mind, I was so excited. Now, as you saw, I put all those 5 ingredients in, and I'm gonna take just a little bit of water, maybe a quarter to a half a cup, just to get it going. And then we're gonna cover the blender and go ahead and give it a whirl and let it do its thing. You stop it along the way and just continue to add your ingredients. We've filled the blender up halfway with the sofrito so far, and as I add this is the last batch of rough cut veggies that I showed you. I'm gonna give it one last whirl. And I'm gonna bring this nice and close for you guys to see. This is sofrito. As you can tell, it is like a pesto, super green. I like it really green. Some people like to put tomato sauce in this, or salt, or olive oil. I don't like putting any of those things in there because, for instance, your tomato sauce is going to change the color and consistency of this. There are some recipes that I want to make, like a caldo de pollo, which is a chicken soup, and I don't want any kind of tomato base in there. I can't use my sofrito then because it has the tomato in there, the tomato sauce. And so I try to keep it as basic as possible so that way I can add the salt, add the olive oil as I'm cooking instead of putting it inside the sofrito. But that's just my preference on how to make this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab something to strain this so we can take some green juice from the sofrito out, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that in a second. So you can see I've grabbed my strainer, I'm putting it inside this stainless steel bowl, and I'm gonna go ahead and strain this sofrito. And already it's starting to take that green juice. It's super rich, really nutritious. What I'm gonna end up doing is setting aside that green juice, adding some lemon juice, a little bit of apple cider vinegar or regular vinegar, depending on what I have. That is gonna serve as what is called a mojo, and it's spelled M-O-J-O. Mojo is really good. It's a liquid kind of marinade that you could use for your meats or even for your rice and beans to give it that extra flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and strain this and then show you that juice on the inside. It's pretty amazing. Hold on. Well, there you have it. Well, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.